So a whole card can either be ruined or saved by a highlight or a low light. In the case of Max Holloway and UFC 300, it was saved. It was saved by Max Holloway knocking Justin Gaethje out. But last night, we had the opposite. We had a low light of Torres Finney winning a fight in the worst possible way you can win a fight today in MMA. And I think it's the biggest problem in the sport. And a lot of people would agree that this is the biggest problem in the sport right now. Winning by nut hugging, winning by smushing, pushing, and mushing against the fence in a boring way that just a drab, boring way that makes the fans start booing. It can cast a shadow on the card that'll make you forget even a record-breaking main event. It'll make you forget. Like when Batista beat Aldo, it was just all like, okay. Dude, this made people want to like end it all, okay? And then luckily we had a historic main event. Sometimes you don't have a historic main event. Sometimes you have Lerone Murphy backpedaling the whole time like a cornerback. And so it can really cast a dark shadow on the whole event. It's kind of like if you were to go to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, or Six Flags Over Texas, but then you pee your pants on one of the lines or in one of the rides. Then for the rest of your life, you got your dad bringing it up, talking about every time someone comes over to the house. Did I tell you the story of how he peed his pants when we were at Six Flags? Oh my gosh. That's when I knew this kid, he wasn't going to be a varsity athlete. Jeez, man. No, we didn't leave. I made him walk the rest of the park with the wet pants. Yeah, I had to teach him a lesson, That's how I had to teach him a lesson. Now all you remember about Six Flags is having warm, itchy jeans and the clear day that you became a disappointment to your father. Wrestlers right now in the UFC are being a disappointment. They are pissing down their legs. I'm not gonna say as a whole, but a select few. They're pissing down their legs and they're ruining it for everybody else. Batista, he almost ruined that card. Last night, Torres Finney ruined the card.
Oh, man. You're just ruining it.
And it sucks because he's a guy who worked so hard to get into the UFC. And he gets into the UFC. He finally gets his contract. And he fights one of the worst fights ever. And this fight could have been amazing, man. It could have put Ultimate Fighter back on the map. It could have validated. I don't speak English today. It could have validated Torres Finney as a legitimate contender, a guy who deserves to be in the UFC. Now people are like, dude, why did we even sign this guy? Dana White was right, maybe. Sadly, even though he can pick up a truck, maybe he needs to be picking up trucks because in the UFC, you can't just be picking people up. I was excited for this, man. I always go for the underdog. I always go for the person with the odds stacked against him. I always go for wrestlers. I like going for the black guy, even if he's ashy. Torres Finney, put lotion on, dude. Lotion is like $2.
What is that?
Anyways, all he did was shoot doubles. And he didn't shoot doubles like Jordan Burroughs. He didn't even shoot doubles like Marab. I would say he shot doubles like Ice Spice, just with his butt sticking out. I would be watching this fight, and I felt bad. I was watching it, and my niece was sitting right next to me. The whole video is his booty in the air, dude.
You thought I was feeling you?
No, I don't have any talent, but I can stick my butt in the air. This is ruining the sport. This is the worst problem in MMA. But wrestling is awesome. It's awesome. You got to stop embarrassing us, man.
Look at my lips. You're ruining it. Ruining the fun for the next man.
We're getting the reputation as wrestlers as being crotch sniffers, inflicting no damage, wasting time, where they're calling us cowards. We're robbing fans of fun fights, dude. Like, this could have been a really fun fight if he didn't just spam double legs. And the truth is that, like, wrestling, it is still a dominant discipline in MMA. Like, I think it's still completely necessary to have the skill set to know how to defend a takedown, to shoot a takedown, how to control someone on the top, to know how to use your wrist control techniques, to know how to mat return, all that stuff. I think that's super important. But the problem is, the wrestlers are not the only people who know these techniques now. This is standard practice in every MMA gym. That's why you had an all-American Kamaru Usman get countered by a British dude, Leon Edwards. Everyone knows it. Like, wrestlers aren't special. They're not special anymore. We have people from Asia and Europe who wrestle just as good for just as long, but when they were wrestling as kids, they were wrestling through civil wars in their country. Not Iron Man versus Captain America. No, they had tanks blowing up their neighborhoods, and then they're like, hey, you want to go practice some double legs? So now, if you get stalemated and you're stuck up against the fence, the whole fight, you got to be able to adapt. You can't just crotch sniff. I think, personally, this is a hot take. I think if Khabib was still fighting right now, the way that he fought, he might not be a very popular fighter right now because he did kind of spam the takedowns. He started the whole crotch sniffing thing, if you really think about it. The cool thing is that he would get guys out of there. But if Khabib couldn't get people out of there, that's the problem. Everyone thinks they're Khabib.
Do not read him!
You're not Khabib.
Do not read him the card!
Everyone thinks they're Khabib. Khabib was getting guys out of there round 1, round 2. You can't be a one-trick pony. You got to be able to throw more than 4 significant strikes. If you're a wrestling-based MMA fighter, you got to know how to strike. When was the last time, dude, that you saw someone really like ground and pound and just completely demolish the guy on bottom? They use their wrestling to take him down, and then they just ground and pound it. You're not GSP. You got to learn that, like, you can't just take them down and then we just sit there the whole time. You can't just take them down and hug them. I feel like American wrestlers are also less abundant for some reason. Like, I feel like it used to be a pipeline. Like Michael Chandler, Kamaru Usman, Justin Gaethje, Colby Covington, Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw, Chad Mendes. Dude, there were so many of them. It's like, okay, are you an All-American? Good. You lost in the finals? Even better. You didn't pay attention enough to use your degree, so now you got to keep fighting? Even better. You punched a hole in your wall before? Okay. And we're going to give you bonus. You have is your nose flat? Are your eyebrows uneven? Or do you have cauliflower ear? Oh my goodness, you're perfect. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to send you South Florida 2-3 years and forget. 2-3 years, Kill Cliff, whatever, Black Zillions, American Top Team. Within 2-3 years, you're ranked in the UFC. That was how it was, man. And they would put on good fights. All those guys that I mentioned. Chad Mendes, TJ Dillashaw, Henry Cejudo, Colby Covington, Justin Gaethje, Kamaru Usman, Michael Chandler. They all put on amazing fights. What the heck happened since then? What happened?
Hey, what happened?
We were living like kings. Now kickboxers don't even respect us. People don't even care about slams. Hey, you like the way I slammed him? Dude, look at your face, dude. You landed 5 significant strikes. He landed 93. And you won the fight. You think people are going to like you for that? So what do we do, guys? What do we do? How do we fix this issue? I think I got 3. This is Flying Squirrel Consulting Company. I got 3 ways that we can fix this issue.
I'm glad you asked.
Because as a wrestler myself, it would hurt me greatly to see our reputation as wrestlers being destroyed by these bad performances. I don't want us to always be called crotch sniffers. And then the one guy we got who's not a crotch sniffer, Bo Nickel, he's spamming. All we do is just spam? My first solution is obviously, man, damage-based scoring. Did you land more damaging strikes? And what did you do with the control that you had? Okay, at the end of each round, we got to really take into consideration, how does this guy's face look? How does his body look? How does his body language look? There's been fights where a guy, I think it was Rob Font versus, it might have been Chito Vera, but he landed like 100 more strikes. But the strikes he landed, they weren't damaging. He walked away. He could barely open his eyes. So he lost the fight. That's how it should be. He lost the fight. You land your pitter-patter, or you take him down, you hug him, but you don't do any damage. You walk away and your face looks like a Salvador Dali painting. Yeah, you lost that round. Second thing I think we need to implement, and I think this would really help the sport, bro. Stalling calls. In wrestling, if you're not scoring points, if you're just running around, you get a warning for stalling. You keep doing that for 30 more seconds, you get a point deducted. I think this would be amazing for the sport of MMA. I think it increases the pace. It helps out everybody. It helps out the crowd. It helps out the judges. It helps out the guy who's getting, cheated by, hey, I'm fighting a guy who's just spamming double legs. I'm fighting a guy who's just squeezing my legs and taking deep breaths. I don't know what to do here. I thought I was in a fight. Now I feel like I'm play fighting with my girlfriend. What do I do here? It creates urgency. It keeps it dynamic. You got to try something else. If what you're working doesn't work, you got to try something else. It works for striking too, because you can't just stand there and throw nothing. Leon Edwards.
Don't let him bully your son.
You can't just stand there and bounce around and defend and but. You have to go inflict damage on the other guy, and a stalling call will help. And my third solution, I think this is the best solution. I say, hey, send him 2-3 years, Dagestan, and forget. You want to wrestle? Okay, you want to just take down, let up, take down, let up, take down, let up? We send you to Dagestan, 2-3 years, and we forget. But here's the thing. We literally forget you. Like, you don't come back. We're literally just going to leave you there. Torres Feni, you would have a blast in Dagestan. Hopefully you can make some money wrestling there. I don't think you would, because that's why they're all in the UFC. If you want to come back, you have to face Craig Jones in a grappling match. And yes, he will be wearing a neon Speedo. You beat Craig Jones, come back in the UFC. Otherwise, we forgot you in Dagestan.